Hi everybody, welcome to day 3 of Eurogamer Expo. I'm Rubi Bayer.
Steve Fowler.
Liz Kerstein.
We're going to talk to you today about the living world of Guild Wars 2. And I'll let Liz, I talked a lot yesterday, so I feel like I owe you a little bit to get us started today.
Thanks, Ruby. So the living world of Guild Wars 2 is one of our two main kind of pillars for the game. We've got the living world, which takes place in the open world, and we've got competitive, which we've talked about earlier this weekend, which is, player versus player and world versus world, which are small scale and epic scale combats, respectively. So the living world of Guild Wars 2 is what we call living in kind of ever-changing world. We tell a story over the course of several releases that kind of takes you as a player through events that are going on in Tyrian history. This can be, small things all the way to big things. So the end of season 1, which happened in about April of this year, saw an elder dragon awaken, which is a pretty big thing. In Tyria, dragons aren't like, your run-of-the-mill thing that you knock out every day. They're huge forces of nature that sleep for aeons, and when they wake up, they're going to devour the world, and we're trying to stop that from happening. The dragon who most recently awakened was Mordramoth, the jungle dragon, and season 2, which we're in the middle of here and that we're going to be showing you part of, has been players, opening up a new map, learning about Mordramoth and its minions, and trying to figure out how to fight that.
One of the cool things, one of the things that I really love about the living world in Guild Wars 2, like Liz was saying, we've got these events that happen throughout the world. The living world has been leaving a permanent effect on the game world of Tyria inside of Guild Wars 2, and the players are a part of that. They can go back and they can see the things that have changed in the game world, and they're looking at this and they're saying, I hope that happened. I was a part of that. I was there when this happened. And they're a part of the creation of the lore of the game. And things that happen, even like 2 years ago, two and a half years ago, they're saying, this was the thing that I was there for. This was the thing that I did. And this is a lasting part of building the world of Guild Wars 2. And it really is meaningful.
Yeah, so right now Steve's kind of setting us up for something. He brought us into kind of the final moment of the first half of Season 2. This is called the Summit. Like I said, so earlier we had the Elder Dragon Mordramoth awaken, and players have since then been learning about its minions and its tactics and the threat it poses to Tyria. And we've come to the conclusion that Mordramoth is the gravest threat. So players have then gone out to the races of the world, the 5 races, the Char, the Norn, Cumin, Silvari, and Sura, and said, hey, I know you have your own problems, but right now Mordramoth is a dire threat to Tyrian, and it's going to wipe us all out if we're not careful.
They're not entirely convinced.
So you as the player have gone out and brought these races together for this summit to try and talk about, okay, now that we're all here, can we form a plan? Can we attack it together? But Mordramoth kind of had a plan to interfere with that, and we're seeing this play out here. The Mordrim Husk that Steve is fighting right now is one of Mordramoth's minions. You'll see them all denoted as Mordrim Husk, Mordrim Tendril, whatever. And those are kind of its servants, its kind of planty, reanimated beings that it's sending out to do its bidding. In this case, disrupting a council that could have posed a great threat.
Steve's doing pretty well.
Yeah, so right now his objective is going to be to get all the different leaders of the world to safety. We definitely don't want to have brought them all here only to have them fall, because that would not be very good for the future of Tyria. So now he's gotten them all pretty much safely out. It looks like there might be someone over on that side who's still fighting a Mordrim Wolf. But as soon as he gets them out, we'll be able to escort, it looks like, Newt Whitehair off to safety. Newt's a Norn, so he probably thinks this is a pretty cool challenge. Norn are known for being fierce warriors, yeah. So we've gotten the last leader safety off, but the Pale Tree's avatar is still there, and she looks like she might not be doing so well.
So she wants to talk to us. Let's check on her, see how she's doing.
Alright, now things are going to get real serious. You see that Mesmer portal that the other leaders just went through disappeared. We've got lights flickering on and off. And something is coming.
He's going to be big, I think. Didn't we say we'd see this guy again?
Yep. Yeah, if you were watching a stream the other day, you might have seen the shadow of the dragon, and here it is back to cause some trouble.
Alright, Steve, can you do something about this, please?
Like die? Yeah, I'm probably pretty good at that.
I think if you could just take care of that real quick. It looks easy. I think you're going to be fine.
All right, so you can see that kind of the walls of this chamber that we're in are keeping the shadow of the dragon from attacking directly, but it is dropping down little minions. We've got dragon tendrils here that Steve's going to have to wipe out before he can attack the dragon itself.
And one of the things we talked about in one of our live streams yesterday was action-oriented combat in Guild Wars 2. You can see that there are a lot of indicators on the ground, and he's actually doing a really good job staying out of them. He's doing a better job than I do a lot of times when I'm fighting. The Shadow of the Dragon is laying down. There are a lot of things that are going to poison Steve, cripple him, give some knockdowns if he doesn't get out of the way. The dragon tendrils are laying down some AoE. That could happen.
That was a big one.
If he doesn't dodge out of the way, run out of where these are laying down. It's really important to pay attention to what's going on around you and make sure that you're not just standing there spamming your basic attacks. Watching your environment means a lot here.
Oop, there we go.
Awesome.
We can see that we've got little helpful hints over on the right-hand side of the screen saying, destroy the dragon tendrils. Oh, we've done that. So now we get to attack the Shadow of the Dragon. You can see Steve's going to go in and do as much damage as he possibly can until the dragon goes invulnerable. You see that little blue buff up in the corner shows that the dragon can no longer take damage. So we're going to go through that again. Destroy more tendrils, weaken the Shadow of the Dragon, make it vulnerable to our attacks. Hopefully dodge that big old
I missed that one.
ground AoE that's going on there.
The ground AoE is covering everything. It's not just you're going to run off to the side and stand there quietly while it goes away. You have to dodge and evade that because there's no other getting away from it.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the finesse things about knowing, when is it the right time to dodge?
Right.
As an elementalist, I really like having Staff 4 lets you have a pretty extended dodge.
That is one of my favorites.
I hold that in reserve for that
fun.
moment because I'm real bad at the timing.
Yeah.
But Steve's doing pretty well. He's got one dragon tendril left, and good job on the attack!
That was awesome.
Finally got one that I dodged.
Alright, so Shadow of the Dragon is laid down his tendrils. I think, are you down?
Yep.
You've got one left. It's almost down, and as soon as that one's down, you can go after the Shadow of the Dragon again.
Alright. He's got some gnarly looking teeth there. Alright.
Yeah.
It is kind of dazed. You can see he's kind of shaking his head, not sure what's going on.
Yeah,
He's
not
Steve got in a
moving.
significant amount of damage, got it down to half health, and it looks like it's gone invulnerable again. He's got a Mortar Wolf he's going to have to fight off. And
it's
another
laying
wave of tendrils.
It's laying down some more tendrils.
So this is kind of one of the bigger moments of the season, and it's a big kind of culminating fight. But all the way up to this, there have been some interesting combat points, and it's really neat to see each story section kind of have its own defining fight feature. Oh,
All right, you're down. You're not out.
I am in a down state.
now we're going to see the beauty of instances, which is if you are defeated in an instance, which I'm guessing Steve's going to be.
Yeah.
No offense.
There we go.
You get a checkpoint,
I get
so you
to
can
cheat.
retry. You don't have to go back through the procession, back through everything. You get right back into the action, figure out what's going on.
Yep. You don't have to completely start over. It's not just horrendous. So something that Liz was talking about is that this is something that we've been building up to all season. We kind of have left this at a cliffhanger. We're on a little break. The Living Story is going to come back in November. If you've missed this, though, it's okay. You are not out. We introduced the story journal just recently, and what that means is that all of our Living Story episodes are live in game for a period of time. If you log in during that period of time, these story episodes are free for you forever. If you miss out on it, you can unlock them and still have them at any period of time afterwards. You can unlock them for a very small gem fee, and they are available to you forever. So if you don't even have Guild Wars 2 yet, and you're wanting to get into it, you can still come back and do all of this content and get caught up.
Steve's a little busy right now, but we'll show you the journal UI and all the cool stuff about that in a moment as soon as he is finished taking.
We're not going to ask
That's
you
a
to do
bad
that right
spot
now.
to be at right
Finished
there.
getting himself whooped by a
That's
dragon.
a bad spot to be at.
But you can retry from a checkpoint.
Something to point out is that so these are instants and it's kind of part of your story, but you can bring friends in. So if you're partied up, if Steve had decided that he wanted to bring in buddies, he could have done that. Brought in, it becomes maybe nicer to have people in there that you can combo with or who can help res you. But he's doing pretty well on his own. This is a pretty efficient fight.
Seriously, I've not been able to solo this.
You practiced,
So
didn't you?
I'm kind of impressed.
Practice, I've still died. How many times?
I wasn't keeping count.
About as many times as I did with a number of friends, and you're playing the Mesmer, and that's the class I cannot master to save my life. So
It is
I'm
much
impressed.
easier when you have friends.
We got a Leashing Thrasher in here. Those guys are super dangerous. They heal their allies, and they can wreck you up pretty bad.
Ow! Oh,
I tried to time that.
That was a
Didn't
noble
work.
that
attack.
is a hard. Have you considered a staff alley at all?
I would be lost.
Liz and I can advocate for the staff elementalist.
I don't think I'm going to get the res off of
I'm
this.
gonna say no.
So one nice thing about Downstate, if you're not familiar with it from our game, is that if you have an enemy who's very low health and you manage to kill them, you will typically be able to rally off that. It means you come back, you're at full capacity and you're up, you're fighting, or whatever. So if Steve were lucky enough to go down precisely when like one of the dragon tendrils was really low health and managed to use a couple of his down skills, knock that thing out of the fight, he would actually be able to rally, get back up, get in the fight, and keep going. Which is kind of the point of having the downstate in the game, is to give people a chance to be like, no, I was almost there!
I just about had that thing, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
It gives you a fighting chance.
Is this it? Yes!
We got him.
Good job, Steve.
Look at that.
All right.
That was awesome.
Didn't totally get my...
Yeah, that
You drove him off. You drove it off.
the
That's
shadows
what we needed right
flying
now.
off into the distance, and
All
we're
right,
going
so-
to check in on the pale tree.
See
See
how
if
she's
pale
doing.
trees all right.
She doesn't seem pleased with all of this.
Ooh, pretty.
I love this.
Nice. So what
that-
did we just see, Liz?
A lot of that remains to be seen. So as Ruby said, Living World is going to be returning November 4th, and we might learn a little bit about that when we get episode 5. But we're going to show you the journal for now. It's a little crowded on the screen because of the resolution we're running, but you can basically see that we have over on the left-hand column, you've got My Story, which is kind of your character's personal story that you progress as you level up and you go through the world. And that leads directly into Living World Season 2, which Steve has already played through and unlocked a bunch of achievements for. But Steve, how about you go and start up Gates of Maguma, just so they can see that you can kind of go in and start something at any time. Oop. We're in an instance, so we can't change our story, but were we out of the instance, we could go in, choose to pick that story up, or go back to a different one, and it's just a really neat way to kind of explore what has happened before and go back and revisit cool things.
So I'm showing you achievements right now, actually. When you play through the story the first time, it's just for the entertainment of the story, but there's plenty of replayability, right?
Absolutely. A lot of these achievements are kind of hard to get, so it's meant for players who have really mastered that particular story instance to go in and, either do something without killing any mobs or trigger all the mobs and kill them, sort of thing.
As you can see, I have not unlocked any of them yet.
Steve has a way to go.
But when you do, you have treasure chests and achievement points.
I could have unlocked this one, right, as if I had avoided all those ground targeting
You
claw
just didn't
breath
feel like
attacks.
it.
Next time.
Yeah, I wanted to show what the average man would do there.
All right.
So we are going to kind of wrap up. I think we've given a pretty good look at the living story. If you want to check this out for yourself, this is available right now. We are in a free trial until October 1st. And if you want to have Guild Wars 2 for your very own, the game is half price until October 5th. You can go to guildwars2.com and get all of that for yourself. So, Steve, you were awesome. Very
Barely.
impressive.
Good job.
Please teach me how
I
to be a
wouldn't use
mesmer.
that
I'm
same
so
word
bad.
personally, but I did get by.
You did
Thank you very
really
much.
well. Thank
Thank you
you
all.
guys.
Okay, bye-bye.